What's going on, family? Welcome back to Rex Movie Reviews. And today we're going to continue in the MCU universe. And we're going to be talking about the fourth movie in chronological order. And this is The Incredible Hulk from 2008. And we're going to go ahead and disregard that 2003 film. Although I didn't even think it was that bad. But Eric Bana, I liked his version. But here, in this film, we get Edward Norton. And this movie basically has some brief, suggestive content. The sequences were intense. This movie was full of action. And this was directed by Louis Lederer and produced by Avi Arad, Gale, and Hurd, and Kevin Feige. Zach Penn wrote this, ironically. And I remember this movie was one of the low-grossing films at 134 million, if that's low. And I remember this movie really took me by surprise. Basically, the synopsis of this movie was, you have scientist Bruce Banner, played by Edward Norton, who did a really good job on the human side, who was desperately seeking a cure for his gamma radiation that contaminated his cells and turned him into this green machine called the Hulk. You know, he's cut off from his true love, Betty Ross, who's played by Liv Tyler beautifully, and forced to hide from his nemesis, which is General Thunderbolt Ross, who's played by William Hurt to this day. Banner soon comes face to face with a new threat, a supremely powerful enemy known as the Abomination, played by Tim Roth. And I thought this was genius because, you know, you have this Incredible Hulk and, you know, who's known for smashing things, turning big and green, and occasionally not having much of a narrative, you know, but in this film, they seem to turn things around, and I really enjoyed that. It was a very solid movie. It was much better than the 2003 film, like I was mentioning before. There may be those who agree with me and those who will disagree with me, but while it's not devoid of flaws, this movie was definitely not filled with them. It had some, and we're going to go over them. I really enjoyed The Incredible Hulk, whereas I was disappointed in 2003's The Hulk with Eric Bana. And I'm saying this as someone who loved Ang Lee's other films. If there's one thing that Lee's films succeeds better in, it's usually in its visuals, just like this one. You know, and don't get me wrong, there are very, very stylish, but the ones in 2003 and the 2003 film, to me, were slicker than they were in this film. I believe this film was all about the acting. I think Edward Norton, who's known for his acting chops, definitely put Bruce Banner on a different pedestal. You know, he made The Incredible Hulk bigger, more brasher, more intelligent, and I liked that side of the Hulk. With that being said, the cinematography and editing are amazing. They're great. And the locations and lighting look fantastic in this film. The music is composed beautifully. It rouses. The story compels most of the time, and the dialogue provokes both in a thoughtful and an emotional way, which I thought was really cool and played well with the two main leads, with Liv Tyler and Edward Norton as his love interest. You know, and I do think that the director, Lewis, brings a lot of passion into the film, which is pretty unique. We don't really get to see that in the MCU much. We do get, you know, these love interests, but I loved the dynamic in this film especially. Especially with the use of the form of street running called parkour that he used to use in previous films like The Transporter. I believe the action sequences are suitably thumping with efficient choreography. The choreography in this movie, although there's a lot of CGI, I liked it. They're very slick, especially in the editing room. You could tell that they did a really phenomenal job. They really took the time and chopped up the scenes. The romantic elements are handled in a very shrewd manner and in an alternative way to the danger of slowing the film down at times. And thankfully, there is no underdevelopment or underdeveloped and convoluted subplot like the 2003 film did, with Nick Nolte's character being the father of the Hawk. The first half, though, in a sense, is better than the second to me. The second half is no way bad. It's that the first half is very clever, very compelling. It drives, it keeps you in your seat, and it keeps you guessing. And although you do know the identity of the titular character the whole way, obviously all the time, the finale is earth-shattering. The film loses it a bit with the rather cliched way that the villain, Blonsky, is written. And it's not the fault of Tim Roth, but that his motives are not always very clear or believable as they had the potential to be. This character is one of those characters where you want a little bit more of a backstory. You want to know his reasoning for even being experimented on and turning into the Abomination, which could be a very interesting character. Lastly, I feel like the casting-wise, the Incredible Hulk to me was excellent. Edward Norton, he brims with intensity, but he's also very sympathetic. I think he was one of the best Hawks until recently, until we got Mark Ruffalo, who I feel knocks it out the park. But the Incredible Hulk also succeeds in making a real sense of Banner and the Hulk inhabit the same tortured mind, which made it more accessible to identify him. Something that Lee's film did not do back in 2003. William Hurt is appropriately still, he every scene that he's in, he kind of, he's a scene stealer, you know what I mean? As General Ross, he's a badass. You can tell that he wants the job done, and he's gonna go hard or go home. Liv Tyler is attractive as ever, and the essence of sympathy as Banner's girlfriend, and although his character is not as believable as Tim Roth, he does quite somehow manage to bring some credibility to him. Overall, this was a very solid film. Not perfect, but better than the 2003 film. And it definitely shed some distance. I love that this movie intertwined with Iron Man also. These two movies, if obviously when you do see it, you see towards the end of the movie, you get an introduction to Iron Man as he goes into the bar and introduces himself. And that was chilling just to see. That gave people excitement. Okay, so now we're introducing Iron Man, who, like I said in my last review, if you didn't see it, go see it, Iron Man, and who was a B-level character, and now all of a sudden, he's gonna get thrown in with the Hulk, with the likes of the Hulk. This is gonna be interesting, right? And then you finally get to see Iron Man, and then you get to see this film and what they did with it. I loved it. I gave this movie 8 out of 10, and definitely, this is definitely a must-watch, and definitely the 4th film in the chronological order. So, I'll see you on the next one. If you like this review, hit that like button, share this with your friends, your family, hit that notification bell so you can get anything that I might do in the future with this MCU universe, and check you out on the next one. Peace.